what she said.
And welcome, everyone. How did you not know we were about to cut over and you had to come in like that? I love it. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the recording of Wobbly Player Syndrome, episode 76. It is called If You Build It. And trademark rights, we don't go any further than that. So, but we would. So that's our monthly topic, and we have these fine gentlefolk here to discuss all the goodness that is list building applications.
I thought we were discussing it.
I brought some extras in, so.
Good. I was worried there for a sec.
Well,
my cat's going to talk about it.
that's it.
So
That's it.
he's all ready.
We're actually going to engage AI and just do it that way. Yeah, and we just have to move our mouths appropriately. But who's going to move their mouth first? Well, we have an Adam here.
Hello.
We have a Mark.
Hey, everybody.
And we have a Michael.
Hello.
How are you, fine folk?
Been
I'm
better.
alive.
And Adam's
You'll
got
be
nothing
tired.
for us. There he is. You've got to say something.
Who?
The whole point of a podcast. Voices in your head.
I thought you were just going to insert the voices.
Voices in my head.
That's it. So, it's cold, folks. If you're not local, it is cold. So, you might see
Yeah,
some
I'm wearing
shivering.
a t-shirt, but trust me, it is cold.
Yeah, okay. For all your podcast listeners, it's a very thick t-shirt. Yeah.
He's sitting on a heater.
It's there's a raging fire behind him, but he's okay, folks.
Oh, there's a vent
I'm
right
pretty-
there.
On the t-shirt, I'm directly under the vent. I'm directly
got
under the
one
vent.
too.
Oh, I got my little
Yeah.
oil heater next to me, and as I said, I haven't mounted it yet, so we're okay. Once that happens, then the video should probably stop. But until then, let's talk 40k, because that's what we're here for, episode 76. 76 times we're talking about 40k. What could be better than that? I know what's better than that. Getting the usual stuff out of the way, and the usual stuff we start off with is new releases. Radio Mike, take it away.
Well, I really feel like there should have been more new releases this month. It felt like a quiet month. Like we had that Shield Captain for the Custodes. We had the Big Mech. Then there was the Codex Genestealer Cults with its attendant Battle Force and Combat Patrol and dice and cards. We had the Sisters with their Battle Force and their dice and cards and Combat Patrol, and that individual Priest model with the Flamer, which is from like one of the boxed games.
Yeah.
And they're just got the new mission decks and stuff for the Pariah Nexus, yeah?
Yeah,
I
they
think that's
should be.
kind of it.
At the time of recording, they're not out yet. They should be out this week, along with the Sisters and Genestealer Codexes. So, yes. But as per usual, the pre-orders were out of stock within minutes.
I got my
Yeah, it's
Space
kind of
Marine
situation normal.
I don't know. I feel like they just need to open the pre-orders a lot earlier,
They're doing
and then
it for
just
2
do it
weeks,
as a
but they're
made-to-order.
But the pre-orders are for 2 weeks now, but they still sell out within the first 5 minutes and don't reopen it up again.
Yeah, but if they gave you 6 months and then they realised, oh crap, we've got 11 billion orders, we might actually be able to make that many by the time of release.
Maybe. Look,
Yeah,
I
but
don't have
then-
it. I think it's anyone who.
Then they wouldn't be pushing. Then there wouldn't be FOMO driving the
correct.
sales.
Yeah.
Like I
The
myself
scalpers
have
around
bought a
this.
significant number of pre-orders that I bought because I knew I couldn't buy them if I didn't buy them now.
Yeah.
You know, I've got that Black Templar box that I've barely even opened. I've got so many fucking Kill Team boxes where I'm like, I want those models, and if I don't buy them right now, I don't know when I'll be able to buy them.
Yeah, it happens.
And that's what they're pushing.
Yeah, and look, I like trying to look. We've got a little partnership with Gap Games, so I try to get my stuff through there. But it's just friendly local game stores still being stuffed over, which is unfortunate. It's unfortunate. If you're wanting to shop at Gap Games, follow the link in the description that I'll need to remember to put. Yeah. Cool. All right, so that was it for new orders, new stuff.
Yeah, like it feels like there should be more, but I think it's just been a bit of a quiet month.
It was all the Chaos Space Marine stuff.
Yeah, the Chaos Space Marines was.
That was last month, wasn't it?
No, it came 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Okay, I thought I talked about that on the
you
podcast.
did, but you have a
last
habit
month.
of talking about stuff that's about to come out as opposed to what has come out.
Well, yeah, but that's my point, though. I don't have anything to talk about that's about to come out.
New releases, the Chaos Codex, and all the goodness that is out.
The cycle is uneven.
Yes. Yeah. By the time you're listening to this, everything's out. There you go. Done.
Yes.
I did see there was a Black Library book with Sisters.
Sisters model. Oh my god, I want that model with the Lafleur or whatever the Fleur flame.
Yeah,
thing.
that was a really cool looking one.
Yeah, that did look good. Is that pre-order or?
Black Library Day. I don't know if that's the Black Library Day or is it pre-order for
Yeah, I
this
don't
week, or...
remember when that's supposed to be available.
But
it's the wrong covenant or whatever they are. What are they called? Chamber covenant. What are the fucking
It's the White Rose,
sister
isn't it?
chapter called?
I don't know, but
Sisterhood.
I reckon Buldas would be losing his mind with it. I know he's losing his mind about the Codex.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll get to him. Yeah, he's excitable. Yeah. Oh, we might as well go. It's a great segue into the other stuff we talk about, and we're going to battle reports. Well, thank you very much for the resub. 44 months. Wow. No wonder that Dreadnought's looking old. Thank you very much. Modelled it off you. Got the beard and everything off it. Yep. So we'll do some battle reports. I think there's a couple of battle reports. Let's have a look what we can find. That is... that's me. That is a Death Watch versus... what are they called? Death Guard. To play against Chris. I ran an unusual list. I had 2 Demon Princes with wings, plus Mortarion, and some other unusual stuff that I would not normally run. And I lost. Simple as that. I had 1 Demon Prince, that one is on screen now, didn't even get to do anything. He flew on the board, moved forward, then the Overwatch killed him. Because Deathwatch have that ability of making everything lethal on 6s, and in Overwatch, 6s are always lethal, and he couldn't not roll a 6, and I'm really upset. Just don't talk about it.
Just a bit out of character for them, because aren't they normally Xenos killers?
Well,
the
yes.
Death Watch at the moment are an anything killer if you roll well.
Yeah,
which
and
Chris
he-
seems to
apparently
do that.
He did roll well, but I did find the Hellblaster with the Lieutenant really painful because they re-roll, everything's lethal, and if you kill them, they'll shoot you before they get taken off the table, and he wouldn't blow up on his own. It was just very frustrating. But it was good fun. I kept it closer than I thought it was going to be, but I don't remember the score, so clearly it wasn't that close. But it was good. I won't run that list again. I did have 30 Poxwalkers, which is always fun. Poxwalkers are fun, right?
A lot of poxwalkers.
I didn't want to take more, but I could have. Anyway, there you go. And what else do we have in the battle report? We have... Oh, that's not me. That's the one we streamed not long ago. This is the World Eaters versus Tyranids. Take it away. Between
Mark.
the two of you. Mark, yeah, you don't get to do it very often.
Okay,
It's
well,
his first game.
yeah. So first game of 10th. Naturally, we live streamed it, so yous can observe me not knowing really a hell of a lot about the army.
You're welcome. Yeah.
But we were the handsomest and the bravest. It was pretty down the wire right up until pretty much the last turn, at which point I kind of ran out of guys to churn into the meat grinder. So, yeah. Few things I'd do differently now with the benefit of hindsight, but yeah, I enjoyed it. We were the bravest and handsomest, even if we lost.
Look, even up to turn 3, you're winning your secondaries. You were smashing the secondaries right across the board, and that's at one point you're beating me until I think turn 4, where I just started because I had
Yeah.
more models on the table.
Yeah, but by the time I got to turn 4, there was what? I don't know. I think I had 3 units maybe left.
Yeah, look,
I think at that point there was that. And the thing is that this is the nature of Tyranids: is they hit really hard in those first 3 turns, and they run out of steam after that because they're just so squishy.
I thought
So-
Adam just letting you ease into the game by bringing the Lord of Skulls and Angron in the same moment. It was very nice of him.
Yeah, being friendly.
I mean, if you're gonna jump in, why not make it the deep end?
Well, I was going to bring Imperial Knights.
So, yeah, I mean, I was a little disappointed at some of the changes that they've made to the NIDs in certain ways, like the Gene Stealers being only 10-man squads. I'm still not like. I mean, I'm happy with how hard they hit, and I understand why they are the way they are now. But I don't know. I feel like they could have made them a little less crazy and let me have my 40 on the table like I used to. The other thing is that I feel like they've taken a lot of the like the differences, like a lot of the, because you used to have the whole different hive fleets thing, and you had stuff that really sort of differentiated those, and that's gone.
Well, isn't that what the detachments are about, though, right? That's your differentiator, is the detachments.
Yeah, but as I said, I mean, I go and I read that, and yeah, it's just not the same.
Fair enough. I feel that that's what they'll do with the Imperial Guard. And I go, that's not Catachan, but it's a detachment for them. It's not Catachan!
Yeah, essentially, yeah, because what it'll be is the jungle strike force.
Yeah.
Or it will be the desert raiders or something like that, and then you'll have 6 nondescript stratagems to play with them, and there's your differentiator essentially.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just kind of it kind of reminds me of those early days in 8th where like everything just became kind of very homogenized.
I mean, I think it's better than people playing different coloured versions of them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm using Blood Angel rules, but I don't want to use Blood Angels, so they're painted like Ultramarines. At least this way they can just be fucking Ultramarines and use the detachment.
Yeah, correct.
You know, that kind of stuff.
Let's move on. I think the next battle report is we needed not safe for work mark here because it's his, and that is some Underworlds. I think played a couple of games Underworlds. Oh, Adam, you were there.
Yes, I lost. End of
Good
game.
story.
No,
Yeah.
no, was it this weekend? That's just gone.
Underworlds? Yeah, the one you just did this week.
Yeah, so we played 2 games of Underworld. Mark had, or it was Anto, myself, and Mark. Anto just smashed both games. It was actually interesting. I was quite first time playing Underworlds, to be honest, and I was quite interested on how fast it was, how easy it was to learn. The cards actually tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Half an hour each game, 45 minutes, and it was actually quite easy to learn. Would I say I'm an expert in it? No, but it made me enough to buy another warband.
Oh no, it's begun.
No, that's just added to my pile of shame.
Fair enough. And we had one more battle report, late news, just in this afternoon. Michael had a game.
Yeah, actually managed to clear my shit up, and me and my son played some 40k, which was funny because we both took kind of toughness heavy armies. I had like a small Deathwing army, and he had a fucking Death Guard army that was built around Blightlord Terminators. So it was very amusing as we just like kind of lurked at each other and were tough at each other.
Nice. Very good. Let's put you. Oh, you're actually already on the board for this year, aren't you?
Yes, I already played one. I was just in the process of typing it up because I realized that I hadn't got around to doing it since we played this afternoon. Like we finished at dinner time.
Nice. That's the perfect time to do it. Yeah. Cool. That was our battle report. So we got some hobby progress. We'll go into that because you're talking about cleaning up your stuff, getting more war bands. So what are we doing with that? Adam, you gave me nothing to work with.
Yeah.
Fine.
Bit burnt out of all my Imperial Knights. I will get back to painting very soon once I finish playing Diablo 4.
It's fair enough. I have been studying, so I haven't done much either. But I did finish off. Well, I haven't finished his bases. So the Salamander Assault Intercessors are just about done. Just got to do the basing, and then they will be ready to take the table. Simple. The green I used, the black I used, the quick and easy to get done. I used 3D modelled jetpacks. So it's not the standard ones because I had so many intercessors left over that I'm not buying more. I'll just paint what I got and do that. And I have finally started Magnus. I was hoping to work on him again this afternoon, but instead I sat in a cold shed watching my sons play volleyball. Much more thrill. Radio Mike's got some stuff. He's been busy.
Well, yeah, I've finally actually started painting again. Yeah, I did like an experimental Death Guard color scheme because I was like, I'll see if I can make fucking pre-heresy Death Guard work on a thingo. I mean, it's basically the official palette hand scheme, I think.
Yep.
Because they have green shoulders and yours don't.
Correct.
It's mostly the difference. And yeah, I started painting my Deathwing Termies again. And I got a kind of surprising number of Votann painted. Like I painted my Berserks, I painted the Einir Champion. I think I finished off. Did I finish off the other Einir Champion as well? And I finished off the Grimnir, and started working on some Brokir, shit like that. So yeah, just kind of trying to catch up on all the stuff I was supposed to have been doing over the last 6 months.
Nice. We don't have Anthony here, but he's been working on Sisters. Mark mentioned earlier that he's excited. That is his Sisters to date, and it's a very quick army he's building. The Armigers, he's modified those. That looks fun. Don't know if I want to face them. We'll see how the Codex looks like it's good, so that could be trouble. He's got such a good lead on the ladder at the moment. We don't need him to win more.
Oh, look, his Underworld's groups that he just plays is just unbelievable. You know, he knows his sisters back to front as well, so it's quite interesting to see how he plays.
Yeah, and then we've got Not Safe for Work Marks also painted something. Look, it's a lizard guy. He's not here to talk about it, so it's a lizard guy.
Cool. Yeah, it's a Saurus. A lizard man Saurus.
Yeah, and that is for Underworlds, I believe, so it's one of the war bands for that. But there you go, that's our regulars. We covered it.
Hey,
new releases, battle
I
report.
found my pile of shame.
You found your pile of shame?
Yeah, all 3 models of it. Here they are. So there might be a Ripper done by the end of the year. Maybe.
So the new rules where Ripper's OC0, yeah?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
so
and they don't forward deploy, and there's that's Anyway.
That's a big change of the new rules. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for the new cards, but we can talk about that another month. In the meantime, we're going to get rid of our short little unadvertised, unpaid break to get ourselves settled, so we can get into the meat of this conversation. So, if you're really quick, you could probably. I'm just saying there is chat going on, but I'm on the wrong channel, so I didn't see it until I actually looked at the actual stream itself. There's chat's going on. Anyway, we'll be right back, folks. Hopefully it's the right not advert, break messages.
Hopefully it's the right video.
I'm building that world leader's toxic list.
Oh, well, that's good. That's what you want to come back to. A toxic list.
Absolutely, I'm building it.
One moment, folks, it says I'm still playing Vermintide. I changed all the settings, so I don't know why didn't come across. So let me fix
Yeah,
it.
I just refreshed the page and then it went straight into the regular stream. So
Yeah, alright. So that's kind of weird. I don't know why it's come up that. Because we're not doing Vermintide, as you can tell.
I was very tired this morning after Vermintide.
Thank you, Jake, for letting me know that. I don't know why it didn't carry across, because I did actually do all the changes and did all that. Because I'm a clever lad. Quiet. Alright, so we are good. We're back. We're here. We want to talk. There should be some comments somewhere. It says I'm still playing Vermintide. We're there. We're sorted out. Let's talk about what we want to talk about. If you build it... That's right, we'll leave a gap there so people listening can fill in the gap yourselves. That's right. It's 40K's 10th edition's been here for a while. We have a player who had their first game of 10th edition, had to build a list for the first time in 10th edition. We've talked about the Warhammer app and how exciting it is. There's still things like Battlescribe. I know Michael uses pen and paper at times.
Yeah.
So let's work out why you don't embrace technology. And
it's from the before times.
So we are going to talk about list building, and it's more to the fact what tools people can use for list building, and the peripherals that come from that. I'm talking more when you're in game. If you're building through Battlescribe or you're building through the app, what's helping you get through the game? What information's there as well? So, are you printing out reams of paper? Or are you using the online app? Or are you using the data cards that are available that are outdated as soon as they're printed? Where would you like to start? Mark, it was your first time in 40K. How did you build your list?
So I had been informed that Battlescribe was absolute junk for 10th edition. I've sort of since found out that they kind of did make it work for 10th, I think, in some way. So I went and I switched over to newrecruit.eu, which is like an online list builder type device. And that seemed to do not a terrible job. It took a bit of getting used to because they do the layouts differently. So in the stream, you'll see me rifling through sheets and sheets of paper, trying to work out where stuff is. But it's actually a semi-logical sort of layout where you'll have like a list of all of your essential stat lines just in like one table, and then it goes through pages of all the special rules and that. So yeah, it seemed to work all right. I mean, it was definitely, it's probably about the same as Battlescribe, to be honest, in the scheme of things. Though I did find it very difficult, and I'm not sure whether this is an issue with the codex or not. I found it very difficult to figure out which creatures in Tyranids are synapse creatures.
I looked at your pieces of paper and stuff. I felt it was the way it was printed out.
Yeah, well, as I said, when I had a look at the codex wasn't super clear on it either, because they use the synapse keyword in two different places. And so it shows up as a army rule on every single unit in the entire codex, just about. And then the ones that are synapse creatures actually have it as like a keyword in addition.
Yeah.
And the problem that you have there is because it's exactly the same word, it just makes it almost impossible, because everything just, like, you search for synapse and everything, like the whole army comes up. You know what I mean? Like it used to be Synapse creature, and that was much easier to sort of differentiate. So as I said, I don't know whether that is, you know, an issue with this or an issue with 10th in the codex and stuff. And I didn't appreciate them deciding, hey, you know what? Units that have been a Synapse creature for the last, like, 40 years are now not Synapse creatures. So, like, the Broodlord, at least as near as I can see, isn't a Synapse creature unless you take one of the add-ons that makes it a Synaptic Linchpin. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm officially noob status on 10th ed or something, but yeah, I found that more of a pain in the butt than I needed to, and that's what prompted this whole topic suggestion was, hey, what are people using? How he is going about it? Like, is there something that, you know, I don't know about that everybody else is doing, or, you know, stuff like that?
It's a fair question, because I think if you're using any Battlescribe New Recruit, coming in fresh, essentially what you did, or you didn't actually quite come in fresh, you had some historical information that still didn't carry over. It's not always easy to determine that when you're looking at third-party applications.
Yeah, and you always have, and I guess, I mean, with any freeware thing, you're always at the mercy of, did they type those stats in right, or did some dude decide to get cute and go, you know what, I'm going to add an inch or two of movement, or some strength, or AP, or something to someone's gun, because
we did question if your Ripper Swarm having a toughness 9. We questioned that.
I mean, yeah, honestly, that's kind of part of why I use Notepad, and I've all the information that I use, like I'm just pulling, okay, copy that unit onto this document, that unit onto that document, because I know the points are correct because I fucking wrote them. Like, I've had many, like the old there was a Universal Necromunda rules compilation running around for a while, and that fell out of use because the guy started putting in his own fucking house rules in the middle of his big compilation document, and it's like, what the fuck's the point of that? It's supposed to be telling us all of the official rules, and now you've added an extra layer where some of them aren't the official rules. So I find that's the problem with relying on a third-party thing. It's like you're relying on them not having fucked up. At least the way I'm doing it is much less integrated and helpful, but it relies on my knowledge of the rules. You know?
Yeah, so you're copying it out of the codex onto a notepad, so then you can copy-paste to build...
Yeah, I've just got like a list which has all of the units I own. Every model I own, like, and how many points each unit is in its combination, etc. Which is less useful than it used to be now that they don't have different points values.
Well, that's an interesting point too. How much does that now affect list building when they don't have points? Well, they have points values, but it doesn't matter what's in those units anymore. It's for power leveling.
How much of a pain in the arse is it?
I mean, I noticed, because I noticed that the power level points level really only ever changed when I went over certain numbers of models in a unit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I could give them, you know, all manner of guns.
Yeah,
and
all equipment is free.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you pay for the size of the unit, and they have whatever they have. I was actually almost ran my Imperial Guard today, but I decided I didn't have time to be moving my Imperial Guard around the table. I was like, man, it's like 1:30 in the afternoon. We can't start now if I'm going to use Guard, you know. But I was trying to put my guard list together, and I was like, oh, fuck me. I need to reorganize the weapons loadout of every squad I have. Yep. They're all wrong.
Yep.
Super suboptimal. Like, all of my Lehman Russes don't have sponsons because that used to save you points, and now they're free, so they're just worse than they could be for the same cost.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man, fuck me. My guard is a shambles.
Yeah. Yeah, my guard's the same. It's not so much the tanks, because I put sponsors on them, but I play Catachan, so they're all Catachan models. But Catachan's going to have flamers.
But it,
But
oh
all my
yeah, I
guys
mean, I
have
was going to
all
say
the
it doesn't
different
matter
weapons.
with the tanks, but yeah, you just run them as infantry squads.
Yeah,
You know, if they
and
have
that's what I do,
flamers,
'cause
they're
I refuse to
Catechans.
run it as Cadians because I'm not a fan of Cadians.
Yeah, I mean, I figure that's what the infantry squad is for.
For the
You know,
ones
the
who
generic unnamed infantry squad. It's for everything else. It's for old models.
Yeah, correct.
Because it's got the weapon combinations of old models in the infantry squad.
Joker's piped in. He uses signposted notes in the books for important units, and just use the app to build the list so I don't go over the points limit. So yes. So,
Yeah, but I guess the issue really stems from not having the codex.
I mean, that's always going to be an
that's
impediment.
A problem. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'd imagine that there might be players out there who haven't splurged the, what is it, $70, $80, $90 now for a codex. And especially if you're carrying over an old army that you've had for years, you might not have the book, and then you go, oh yeah, I'll just spin up a quick one on Battlescribe, and then you get stuffed by the points.
Well, it's a good point.
I actually,
Go on.
as I say, I had like the opposite problem today, because I was like, oh right, yeah, I'll just make sure these points are all correct. And I was like, oh fuck, I don't have a PDF of the new codex. I have all of it physically. I've bought them all, but I haven't secured
the updated data sheets.
Secured legitimate archival copies in PDF. And I was like, oh man, I have to go find the physical book. What is this?
And then you got to hand jam it into your document. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, we got on YouTube. Chris uses battle scribe, still works for in most aspects. A couple of differences from the app. App is hard as I don't have the Marine Codex, just the Death Watch data cards. Yeah, so the bonus of the third-party applications. Yeah, if you don't have a codex, you can get by. If you're relying on the Warhammer app, which I'll get into, you actually have to have the codex. And if you're an army like Death Watch, which needs core Marines and their own one, that becomes
expensive.
Yeah.
So I encountered a weird one today with that, because I thought that was how the app works. Are there some armies that are free because they suck?
There's armies that are free because their codex not released yet.
Yeah, well, my son was like, "Oh no, it'll let me do Death Guard,"
because they're not.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yet.
Yeah, that's what I said, and he's like, "Oh no, I don't think that's it." I was like, "I'm pretty sure that's it, man."
Yeah, that's it.
He seemed to think it was because Death Guard were unpopular, they were letting him do it.
And
I was like, I don't think that's the case, man.
They're in a bad spot, in my opinion, but yeah, but they're still popular. More Tyrion's the party animal. He's always invited. Yeah. So no, if they have a codex, that's when they lock the armies down, and you need.
Yeah, that's what I thought. How I thought it worked. That the indexes were available in there, but when the codex came out, they took the index off.
Yeah. So when you buy a codex, you get the code in the codex to unlock it in the application. Yes.
Actually, believe it or not, it's actually about Tuesday, the week before the codex actually comes out. It disappears.
Oh wow! There you go. So you got a week of no codex, no index.
Yeah, and there's no guarantee that it's uploaded right there, ready to go. I've had some codexes take a week before you could actually see it in the app.
That's really poor, considering the amount of troubles I've had with pre-orders.
Yeah, it is very annoying like that. Because you still can't just buy the digital for the app, can you?
No,
you have to buy the physical book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be good
so
if you could just
get out of stock. You're just fucked.
Yeah, it'd be good if you could just get the digital key. At the end of the day, it's a key.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, for me, the lore the fluff that's in the book, I don't really care that much.
Well, I mean, a lot of one of the criticisms a lot of the newer books get is that there's not that much fluff in it.
Yeah.
I know I was watching a different podcast and they were ranting about how they really loved the new Chaos Codex, but the amount of fluff in it was fucking woeful.
Well, it's just, we talked about this last episode. It was the lore. Not much has changed. They're not really adding much to it anyway if they are putting anything in it. So what could change in 10,000 years? Yeah.
Emperor's children are pink now and don't have rules.
It is interesting with this. They're now listed in the app as a separate.
With 2 units.
Yeah, Noise Marines and something else.
No,
Yeah.
And
the
Lucius.
army list is actually there.
Yeah, but it's got two data sheets in it.
Does it?
It's got Emperor's Children and
Oh, of course
Lucius.
it
My
does.
son was talking to me about it today.
Yes.
He was going on a rant about how dumb it was.
I see it now. That's all you need. You just need 3 Lucius Eternals and the rest Noise.
Well, you know, they've only been
I think-
hinting about Emperor's Children becoming a thing for how many?
It's not a hint
10
anymore.
years now?
It's flat out. Here it comes. So
Yeah, no, they announced it. They're going to release them just after the Imperial Agents, I heard.
Oh, really? 11th Ed, here we come.
Yeah.
Well, it's meant
Yeah,
to
that'd be a
big
good
shake-up.
box set.
We're going off topic, but there's meant to be a bit. The next data slate, which has been pushed forward, plus the new data cards, the match cards. What are they called?
The Pariah Nexus,
Nexus.
mission cards or whatever.
Yeah, mission cards. Has got a bit of a shake-up. Like the OC 0 units can't do anything anymore, and things like that. So there's a bit of shake-up. So 10A is going to be here soon.
Okay.
10.5.
Thank you. 10.1, whatever you want to call it.
I don't know. I'm going with the D&D thing where it was 3.5.
Yeah, that's right. It didn't.
I'm going to go with 10.1 because guaranteed there will be a retcon or a FAQ or something within 30 days of release to destroy something.
Well, that's what they're talking about, is moving forward the data slate in an FAQ. Because they're meant to be doing those essentially quarterly. So we weren't expecting it.
Yeah,
till
they were
August
supposed to be
or
doing
something like
quarterly.
that, but it looks like they're going to push it forward to the start of July instead. So I believe AdMech players out there, you are going to get some love. So don't
Anyway,
get your
back to actual list builders.
what?
What are you using, Greg?
I use for a very long time, Battlescribe was my go-to. Battlescribe was not healthy for 10th edition, and I went down the rabbit hole of using the Warhammer app, including the subscription, and I cannot fault it anymore. I can't fault it anymore. Let me come back to that. When it was first out, there were things that were going, oh man, if you could just tidy this up, like only show me the list of the weapons I've actually chosen instead of showing me all 50 of them. I don't need to know that. And get into data, the individual data cards. Sometimes I've got to press this, now I've got to press this, now I've got to press this. Now with what's it called? There's a special button that you press.
Battle Commander or
Battle
something like that.
command button. You build your list. It's very easy to build lists because there's no worry about points. They're fixed up, so if I add an extra person, they'll automatically give them the basic weapons, as opposed to you had to add the weapons on them as well. So that's now fixed. And it just feels so much better to use. I've made so many lists, it's not funny because it's just an easy way of doing things now. But I don't use the free version, so I am subscribed, so I don't know if the unsubscribed version is the same.
I don't know, but I was going to say, because my son, he uses that.
Yeah.
He's just apparently been playing around with it, designing lists in his room, because he had already prepared his list when he came to me yesterday and was like, Dad, you need to clean the back table. I want to play you. And I was like, yeah, okay. And yeah, he was, just on his phone because he doesn't have printouts of the card. He does have the data cards in here. He just didn't come get them.
Yeah.
Because I bought them for him. But yeah, he was just playing it off his phone. It had all the info there and it was really quick and he could find all the stuff. So he seemed to be doing perfectly fine with the free version for the Death Guard.
Well, that's good. And the other part of it, because it is official 40k, it is a digital version. It's up to date. So when you talk about the third-party ones, the battle scribes, new recruits, sometimes they take a bit of time before they get their updated version, because it is someone just doing it out of a hobby, updating those.
Yeah.
It's not someone who's officially doing it, getting paid more money than they probably should to do it. So I find that if it's in the app, I know it's right.
Yeah.
I also found that within the app, when they do the point changes and stuff like that, you look at your list straight away, and it's automatically changed.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it just comes straight across from the app. I'm like Greg. I used to use BattleScribe. I tried using in 9th edition. I tried using the app, and that was just pure hot garbage. Now the 10th, it is better. I do have a gripe where it just says something. You've got an issue with this unit. It doesn't tell you what the issue is, so
Yes, it
you've
does.
got to look at the list. Well, it kind of like does tell you a little
didn't
bit, but
for a
you've got to
long
really
time.
look at it.
It
Yeah.
didn't for a long time, but I've found that, for my errors, they seem to be a lot clearer. It's like, okay, I fucked up there. Fine. I didn't choose a war.
Yeah, it just says the weapon profile's incorrect. It should go, you've added 3 more models into this. Add 3 weapons. You go,
And
No,
that
that's-
was one of the
oh.
things I actually really like about New Recruit is that it won't let you add more models to a unit than you can have, and it very dynamically tells you, hey, this is bad juju. You've picked too many weapons or stuff like that. So, my first impression there with New Recruit was that they've done a pretty bang up job. And when you consider that BattleScribe has had a bit of a shaky run with its developer only ever updating it because the revenue stream dropped off.
People stop subbing or paying.
As I said, I mean, it's early days for me on that system, so they probably have their fair share of issues as well. But coming from BattleScribe, it seems not too bad.
I like the app just for the fact of when you're running that battle commander as well, you roll it down at the bottom and it says, you can do these stratagems in the command phase. You can do this in the shooting. You can do this in the fighting. So you're like, I want to do, and then you're like, I want to do that. Oh, no, I can't. When can I do this?
Yeah.
You have a look at it straight away. And then you hit a little down arrow and it opens it all up. So
Yeah, okay.
it's really good. It's much better than what it was.
Yeah, that's what I hinted before. So if you're going to you built your list and stuff like that, whatever format, how does that help you on game day? Like when you were saying, Mark, that the way it was printed out had all the stats for the units all together, but their abilities were in a different section, all put together. And then this part was all put together in a different section, so it wasn't really lining up that this Ripper Swarm had this ability.
Yeah, and you did run into that sort of spot there where you had like invulnerable save, and it was invulnerable save number 1, 2, and 3, depending on which unit you had, and you're like, okay, so which one of these 3 invulnerable applies to that unit? At which you find that in one part, and then you reference somewhere else, and then so as I said, it's one of those things where you see, the thing is that if it was all collected as one unit profile, I'd just be sheafing through trying to find each profile I needed, as opposed to having one list and going, okay, well, I know my toughness is that, and stuff like that. But the big one for me was the Xeno's Claws and Teeth. Now, NIDS being a melee-based army, so one of those was for zoanthropes, one of them was for, like, hormagaunts, another one was for, like...
So put all of your army's weapons together, not attached to their profiles,
Correct.
and you had to guess which one was the correct melee attack.
Well, as I said, if you went up to the detailed profiles, it would say, okay, your Xeno's Claws and Teeth number 2 for Ripper Swarms, and then you would find number 2 in the list. But there's literally like 5 of them, and you're just like, they could have just gone like Ripper
Yeah,
claws. Or
That's a real fucking bad way of running it in 10th, where the number of attacks you have for the same weapon is different depending on which unit is holding it.
Yeah. And as I said, I mean, I've actually got the list right here in front of me, fortunately enough. And you have, so the difference can be strength 6, 5, 3, or 2, depending on which one you pick. And again, I mean, the tax is 6, 4, 3, and 2, and you're just like, huh. And then one's got sustained hits, but none of the others do. And then you know what I mean? And you're just like, oh, did I? And if you skip a line by accident, then you wind up mixing the profiles, and so yeah, it's not perfect. Let's put it that way.
This is why we questioned your Ripper Swarm with the toughness 9 and the 6 attacks.
I never said toughness 9.
and the 40 attacks.
40 I mean, don't get me wrong. The Rippers were brave taking off the Lord of Skulls by themselves, but I don't think that makes them that tough. But
yeah.
So today was the first time I'd run into a Rhino in 10th edition, and I was like, wait, it's got fucking toughness 9!
And it heals.
And it regenerated! I was like, oh man, I need to shoot actual anti-tank vehicles at the Rhino. Fuck!
yeah, and as I said, See, the thing is that when I print these out in Battlescribe, I'm doing a similar thing, but I'm doing it only a little bit different. So, you know...
Well, I found with the Battlescribe one...
It's bad in a different way.
I think the Battlescribe... Again, I haven't tried the new recruit, but I found with the Battlescribe, if you didn't know the army, you could print it out so you'd have essentially data card for each unit. The catch was if you had 3 of the same unit, it'll print out 3 versions of the same data card. Or if you actually have the familiarity of your army and you only need to have those key stats, then it can print out similar to the way you described the new recruit one is, yeah, this is what you got, that's what they got, but all the stats and everything is down at the bottom, so you have to quickly look at that. And that was great for 9th, as Michael hinted, because the weapons profiles was based on the people using it as opposed to what the weapon is. So not so much there.
That sounds a lot.
Yeah.
So I was going to talk about something earlier you mentioned with them not updating shit, and it was a thing I ran into with Yakramunda's gang builder when I was trying to play Necromunda there. Seeing that the new books came out and they weren't reflected in the online rules and you couldn't use them. But interestingly, they had the same kind of thing. When you printed it, it had 2 different layouts. You could print it out as like individual ganger data cards, or you could print it out as a list of all the people.
Yeah.
So I think they might have copied Battlescribe there. I haven't used Battlescribe ever. So.
As I said, I found it very useful. I think that helps with if you're new to the army and you need to have everything in front of you attached to everything. Or if you're familiar with it, you just need that more as a reference point. Oh shit, I forgot how strong that gun is. What do I need to make sure? But yeah, again, with the Warhammer app, if I have 4 units of infantry squads, it just gives me the 1 data card of it. I don't need.
Yeah, it also gives you a little picture. So if you've got the internet connected, you're like, if you're not sure of the army, you go, I know that model, and you roll through and you go, that's it there straight away, because you can't remember the name, but you remember it. It's a Bruce on a bike, and you go, that's the picture, which is quite good for that as well. And it runs well on a little tablet or a mobile phone.
I find being able to actually see the data card is very handy because there's so many little differences. Like, my Cyclone missile launchers had very different crack missiles to my Ballistus Dreadnought crack missiles in today's game. And I was like, oh man, crack missiles have got different stats than what they used to.
So, yeah. So I'm just looking up a 1,000 Sun army I built because I know I've got Marines with Flamers and another unit with just bolters, but because it's 1 data card, all the weapons are listed, so you just got to remember which unit am I looking at. And if you're playing as close to WYSIWYG as possible, you should be fine, right?
You look at the models, yeah.
You should be fine, right? Yeah. I know it's not often we rave about Warhammer. We rave about Warhammer. It's not often we rave about Games Workshop. That's but their application, because as we mentioned, it's got the strategies listed there. It's got your army detachment rules there. It's got your full the army rules. It's all in one spot. I just find it so easy to look up. I was excited about the data cards until the first run of data cards they released were wrong before they even hit the shops.
Yeah, that was a little annoying.
Yeah. So I found it this way, when I'm playing, it's quite easy to look up what I need to look up at the time. And because it's also got the reference of all the rules in there in the same application, you can look up. If you're not sure what lethal means, you press lethal on the thing and it will show you. Lethal means A, B, and C. You go, sweet, cool. I don't have to bring out my book and work out what it is.
Well, I think the big thing, the big difference seems to be the stratagems, because I know like New Recruit doesn't have any of the stratagems listed in it.
Don't think Battlescribe does either.
And I don't think I've seen that with Battlescribe either.
No.
So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty compelling sell for buying a physical codex and getting the GW app.
Yeah.
I've definitely been surprised by how good the GW app is.
And if you,
I don't know whether I would just use it digitally or wind up doing printouts or something. Does it have the option for that?
you can, yes, you can. You can. The options are export, so yes, you can definitely export it. So you can print it out, and it's a nice printout.
So does it do it a la data cards, or?
No, I'm just looking at the printout now. It doesn't have any stats or anything like that. It's just telling you what you have. So
it just tells you the army that you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay. So essentially, when you're playing it, when you're playing, you have to use the app basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, my son was using his app as a reference in his hand.
It's really made for this generation that relies on phones and tablets. So
that's good because every time I've tried to use I do prefer to use a device for that, because you get that, because you hit the link and you get the extra rule, and I'm not sheafing through a million pieces of paper or books or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just that they've always been designed by somebody who took UI class in 1995, and it would just take 10,000 years to find anything on a phone. And I would whenever I would use it
in the past.
Yeah, and you would find that it would be better on a tablet, which nobody has these days, just about. And even then, it still wasn't in a lot of ways as good as having the physical book.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they've really, really actually put some effort in, and the interface is not terrible.
Yeah,
I think
there was a couple of moments in that.
Sorry, Mark.
I was saying there was a couple of moments in our game where I was like, "Oh, fucking, lethal hits. Which one is that? Precision." And my son would he'd just click on the thing in his codex and be like, in his app, and was like, I just read the rules. Like, yeah, that one.
Yeah, it makes it so good,
and realistically, it's going to, as they improve that's going to make a lot better, because I mean, we've all done it, gaming through the 90s and stuff, sheafing through the rule book to find some universal special rule for,
I was doing that today.
Yeah, exactly. But there'd be a time where there'd be a moment in your game that hinges on this rule, and you're frantically trying to find the thing while someone's standing there going, I'm pretty sure that rule's not a thing, you know.
Whereas
now you can
between
just
us-
go, click.
Whereas between
Yeah.
us, I went, oh, Master Execution gives fight first. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was today. I was like, oh fuck, there's a restriction on Deep Strike where you can't do it in the first turn, and I was trying to fucking find it. My son's like, I'm not sure there is. The Deep Strike rule doesn't say it. I'm like, no, it's in the fucking, it's in like the
Reinforcements
mission
rule.
card rules somewhere. I need to
See-
find it. It was on the little fucking fold-out piece of paper that's with my fucking deck of cards. Because I was like,
Yeah.
I can't quite find it, but I know it's there. And then when I picked up the mission cards, I was like, oh, it says it right here in the little fold-out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see the thing with that whole aha moment on your executioner there, I would guarantee you there was probably something in my army I could have done
Oh, yeah.
to like make that nowhere near as bad as it was.
The fact that you got
but-
up to like 5 or 6 CP, also your stratagem wise and things you could be.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I should have been pumping my Hormagaunts and Termagants back up with that healing stratagem that just puts like 6 models back into the unit. And but you know, rules will be forgotten, and because again I'm limited to chucking paper down, and you know, if you don't know it's there, or you haven't had the time to read everything and memorize it all,
So
then you know.
here's the limitation to the GW app. It is good. It is very, very, very good. If you have the army and you bought the codex, use the app. That's my advice. If you don't have the codex, you can't look up other people's armies and see what stats they have if they've got a codex release. This is the little caveat here. Everyone's got their codex release, so now everything's locked behind the paywall because you have to buy the codex. With Battlescribe and New Recruit, you could still look up other armies to get an idea behind. All right, I haven't played Tyranids yet. What is it? Something I should expect from them? If I don't have the codex, can't use the app. I'd have to go find a third party,
Or just do an internet search.
No, Google's not that smart, I'm sure. But if you wanted a bit more detail, so that remember the days. Here's check your age, folks. Remember
Back
the days
in my day.
when you bought a codex for at most $40, and you basically bought every codex because they were so damn cheap. That's going.
I don't.
I do.
You mean
I don't, because
last
I was poor in the 90s because I was in like high school. So
Yeah, it's $20 to $30. I remember having all of them because they were so cheap. I said, "Yeah, I might as well buy them all." It's great.
yeah.
Yeah. Then I could always see what's going on. So,
That's what I
comments
mean.
about the
To be
limitations.
fair, To be fair, though, the codexes weren't refreshed every couple of years.
True.
Yeah.
So is that a big limitation on the app that you can't see other armies, or is it just would be nice to have, but I'll move on?
I mean, I
don't think I really-
that as a thing,
Yeah.
but
Like I never really check the check other people's stuff, you know, against their codex and things like that. I've always tended to build my army in sort of, you know, generally almost in isolation, to be honest.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I've never done it to like list tailor against someone, but if I was fighting an army but I've never fought before and I
Yeah.
knew they had some kind of bullshit rule, I'd be like, so what exactly does a fucking Markalite do? You know?
Yeah, or something like that. But never to the point where I'm going through all the stat lines on every single unit that they could conceivably throw against you. Usually it'd be like when I played Adam, it was like, oh, okay, I'm going up against World Eaters. I'm probably going to see a whole bunch of Space Marines. And then it turned out there was a Primarch and a Lord of Skulls. So it worked well.
Well,
So-
they were Space Marines once upon a time.
Well, as I said, the Marines contingent, I just mopped the floor with.
Yeah.
Like all my weaponry and everything was perfect for that. Yeah, not
To be
not
fair,
so
Angron
much.
was never a space marine. He was a giant sad boy.
Yes.
Yes. So Chris just put on that he literally built when I played him with my Death Guard, he literally built a Death Guard list in Battlescribe to check out the stats of what I would possibly be bringing. So there you go. I'm not the only one who may investigate, but no.
And I can understand that. Like, it makes perfect sense to at least, spitball some possibilities with the stuff that you could wind up going against, because, time spent in recon and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that some people would do it. I just wouldn't expect an app to give me that for free, legally.
Either that, or I mean, they could do it. It's just that then they'd have to start getting into weird.
They'd have to hide in a cave
DRM
because Games
stuff.
Workshop's lawyers would be like, knock, 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 knock.
Well, like if GW did it in their app, but made it like read only somehow, so that you can't go print off a codex you don't have, or something like that, and
That's
then
why
you're
they stopped
adding
doing PDFs, because you can't do that.
yeah.
Like, they don't make. That's why they stopped doing the digital PDF codexes, because they couldn't copy protect them.
Yeah.
They just ended up on. Oh, they ended up in my fucking folder. Is where they ended up.
It'd be good with the app builder for the Games Workshop app builder. If you're like subscription service like myself, and I know Greg is, that you could see the list, but you couldn't build anything, but you could see the index, the data cards and the stats and stuff like that while you subscribe. The moment you unsubscribe, it's gone. It's easy to do. So in my point, why don't they do that so you could do it? Because but it's an extra bit of money that they'd be earning.
Yeah, the thing is that I think they've sort of tied it to buying the codex, and if they show that to you without you having bought the codex, it's almost trivial to lift text out of a screenshot or something like that, and then
it's like,
essentially make your own codex.
Screenshot. Let me look at that data card screenshot.
Yeah. So, I mean, heck, ChatGPT could do it for you in 20 minutes. So, I completely understand their sort of standpoint there.
Well, let me throw the question in a different way. As opposed to looking at your opponents, what they might bring to get a better understanding, I want to build a new army, but I don't know what this army is like,
have,
or what they do, what their special abilities are. How do I find that out?
I guess you've got to go and ask to look at the store copy of the codex is the traditional answer.
Yeah,
or you could watch battle reports.
If you don't live near a GW, you don't have that fucking option.
Correct, yeah.
Hit up YouTube, go watch some battle reports.
But that doesn't help you. It doesn't help you. It gives you an idea of maybe the way they play, but it doesn't give you, okay, so...
Yeah, most channels...
Yeah, but are you basing your purchasing decision on the movement stat of a particular unit in a codex?
If I wanted to build... I've been looking at codex
or how many attacks or wounds or whatever?
What Khorne got? Okay, what do they do? If I go to a battle report, find me a battle report that's pure Khorne demons. That gives me a better idea.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. You're not going to find an Imperial Agents battle report unless someone's having a laugh.
Yeah, like trying to find out. Trying to find out, detail about the stats of a unit from a battle report is like trying to learn to cook from watching Iron Chef.
Yeah.
It's not going to fucking happen.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of going, do I like this army or something like that?
Yeah, if you're from a more vibes-based attitude, it works great.
Yeah.
And I mean, in lieu of going to if you're 5 hours from the nearest GW or other gaming shop, I mean, it might be a viable thing to do. That said, I mean, again, I mean, you can always look at Battlescribe and these free ones.
Yeah. And that's what I find Battlescribe. Again, I haven't tried New Recruit, so I'm referring to Battlescribe. I found it useful to just have a quick look and say, oh, okay. Oh, they do that. That's pretty cool. Or if you think you've missed a rule on something, like Master Executioner said, I'm sure he should have been able to do something like that. I don't know. Just make it up as I go along now. Or if you're Chris and looks up my entire army before he plays me. I don't know if it was before or after he built his list. So, give you an idea. Just pointing out that on the Warhammer community site, they have list building tools as one of their options. You got War Scroll, so you got your AOS, you got Kill
official
Team,
AOS one,
and you got Warcry. No 40k. They used to. Remember they used to have it was a really bad one. It was even worse than the app.
Yes.
It was so
Well,
bad.
Evidently,
yeah, I guess
evidently they listen.
I guess they figure that young people don't use the website.
Yeah.
They're going to be on the app.
So I found the other limitation to the Warhammer app is it has to be on a mobile. Unless you're using...
Oh, you mean it can't be on a PC?
Correct. Emulators. Unless you're using an emulator, sorry. You have to have it on either an Android device or a Apple device. So if you've got a Surface Pro, you're shit out of luck. Even though it's a tablet, still shit out of luck. I find that if I had a web version or something that will work on, unfortunately I have a Surface Pro. That's the tablet I have, damn it. I need a bigger screen. These glasses aren't here for looks. Right?
Can't you use what was it, Rosetta or whatever they had an emulator for ARM or whatever?
But that's what I'm saying. Unless you have an emulator, that means you've got to do some fiddling. Why can't they just make... I don't know what the restriction of making a Windows version of it, of an application.
I think you may find in the next year or two that problem goes away, because I have been hearing about ARM on laptops and tablets and stuff
Chris said
running
after,
Windows.
He said after. He looked it up after he put his list. I'm sure you did, Chris. I'm sure you did.
So it's how badly am I going to get pumped after I put this on the table? See, my list was really easy for Tyranids because they dropped the points so drastically on everything. It was just blat. Here's everything I own.
Yeah, that's how I play my Dark Elder, and that's how I'll be playing my Thousand Suns.
It used to be like 3,000 points worth of stuff that I had there, and I used to have to make hard choices. And now it's just like, yeah.
You were panicking you needed more at one stage, weren't you?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
And
I do need
couldn't
more.
I couldn't even use all of the stuff I've built in the last 6 months in my game today.
When I get through
I was like,
my
I
Amiga,
can't take all my Terminators. I need to drop some of them out.
yeah, when I'm going to get through my Amiga painting pile of shame, there will be new models able to be purchased. So there will be changes.
But yeah, I can feel myself growing more grey hairs as we speak. You know, fucking no longer are tablets trying to pretend to be PCs. PCs are having to pretend to be tablets.
Oh, that's been that the way for a long time. Remember the Windows tablet?
No, I don't.
Oh my god. I was a guinea pig for one of
I
those
feel like
mobiles
people give
when
me
I-
shit that
when
I
was
don't
working.
use a laptop, that I'm still using a fucking desktop.
Oh, desktop all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless I'm at work.
My buddies are like, "Oh, just come over and play WoW." I'm like, I don't. I have a desktop. They're like, "Don't just bring your laptop." I don't have a fucking laptop.
No. No.
Yeah, well, why would I go to someone's house when I've got 100 meg internet?
to play MMOs together around the kitchen table on the laptops because we're nerds.
Yeah, but,
Yeah,
just
but I
means
can
that
talk to you
can't
over
share it.
VoIP and eat chips.
I do miss LAN parties, but it's very off topic.
Yeah.
All right, okay, so let's build a list. Games Workshop has made it fairly easy to build a list because points don't matter. All right, well, you know what I mean.
Points don't
No,
matter.
we know exactly what you mean. You're correct.
Yeah.
And they've made it simple with the data cards, whether they're right or wrong. You can just pull out a data card and right, done. The application is a very useful tool because all the information in your face, as long as you've bought the codex or it's still an index army. Otherwise, and on game day, looking up information is very easy because it's live and it's updated quickly. But there are other alternatives. Battlescribe and New Recruit are alternatives. Now, I'm only familiar with Battlescribe. I found that to be a very useful tool for a very long time. And I took a long time before I moved over to the Warhammer app. And when Mark and Adam had their game, I did open up my Battlescribe to look up some Tyranid things because I had no idea about the new Tyranid things, what they did. And I found it very useful. I go, oh, okay, cool. And then suddenly go over to Mark, do this. And, yeah.
And me going, do not help him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I needed all the help I could get by the end there. Oh,
Now,
brain fade was real.
For everyone at home, Adam's determined not to win Best Sports Person this year. So if you do play
you
against
running?
him, wear some shin pads because he'll kick you.
I'll kick you while you're down as well. Even when you're coming up.
New Recruit, I know nothing about it apart from what Mark told me. Mark is going to give us a nice rundown right now about it.
Yeah, basically it's a web-based thing, so no need to download any stuff. Seems to, like, it does have a supporter paid layer. I don't know what the heck that entails, but I used it for free. It exports out nicely to PDF and a bunch of other different formats. It seems every bit as good as Battlescribe largely. The layout's a bit different. It's
even Battlescribe.
It's different. It's I hesitate to say that it's better than Battlescribe, but it's different. Yeah, I found it pretty good as far as all of the rules validations and stuff like that, and stopping you from having 100 million models in a unit, or more guns than there are people in the unit, or if you add it to your list, it doesn't have anything on it, and then gives you 50,000 alerts saying, "Oh, hey, you haven't picked a gun yet," despite the fact you've only just added it to the list and stuff like that. So, it seems pretty good. It does actually support a bunch of other games, like Age of Sigmar, Ninth Age, Old World, and stuff like that. So. I don't know how much of that is paywalled. So, but yeah, it seems pretty good. And I mean, I found it from a cursory, what do I build a 40k list with? And Reddit sort of came back with that.
Yep. And Adam, Battlescribe, tell us about that.
I haven't used Battlescribe for 10th edition, but it's practically exactly the same. You can build the lists. The old 9th edition one, I can only go what I saw at 9th. I don't know what it's like in 10th. But it was scaled with, you have to have these amount of battle lines and stuff like that. You don't need to do that in 10th anymore, but it did. To me, you needed to have the codex open to do Battlescribe 1 so you could work out what you wanted to fit into it. That's the way I used to build my list in Battlescribe. But it did bring you could show a roster and your list and like cards and stuff like that through it. I did enjoy it back in the 9th and 8th, but now I'm the Games Workshop app, the battle app. I'm a fanboy of that. I've even gone to the point of I build lists off the Games Workshop one. I've deleted the Battle Scribe app off my phone.
Just want to add to the Battle Scribe part. I find Battle Scribe is really good if you know the army, because you can go bang, 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 bang. Or if you're not sure, you have cursory glances. But if you want to know stratagems and more intricate details of your army, that's not there in Battle Scribe. And Michael's going to sell us on how good Notepad is.
I mean, I wouldn't say that it's good. It's just I know what I'm getting. You know, I get what I put into it. Although, you know, I might have to check out some of these other options. I might actually have to check out the official app. But because I haven't even downloaded it or anything. I think the only thing I've got is the Citadel Paint app, to be honest.
Ground your son, steal his phone.
Because I was like helping him find some stuff, and I was like, actually, that's not too bad. So I may check it out. But I really enjoy the soothingness of sitting down and like listing out all my units and planning out, you know, which company gets which unit. So I have a full list of everything I own.
Oh, so
you know, and that's a big side benefit.
But you can do that, because I have, for my 1,000 Sun, I've got a list. It's called Painted, and a list called Unpainted, and hopefully the Unpainted gets smaller and Painted gets bigger. It's about 50-50 at the moment. We're getting there. Yeah, but you can still, you're not capped. If you're doing a 2,000 list, it's not going to stop you. You can go nuts, and it'll just have a big exclamation mark saying, "No, slow down." Yeah.
Well, yeah, like my big master list is like, you know, painted, unassembled, unpainted.
I think the worst thing you can do is work out the points of unpainted.
Yeah, no,
man,
you don't do that.
I've done it.
Oh, I've done it too. It's not good. The 1,000 Suns, it's not so bad because I don't have a lot of them. But yeah, don't do it.
The worst decision is one I tried to do like 15, 20 years ago. I sat down and tried to make an insurance estimate of how much I owned. Don't.
Yeah.
No.
That was a long time ago when I owned a fraction of what I own now, and it was a bad idea.
Yeah, I keep.
Yeah, I just did the points on my pile of shame.
Can I?
185 points.
Can I do that?
Yeah, let's not discuss that.
The Warhammer app. Can I do it on there? Joker's just pointing out that he's also made a list of the unpainted stuff with the points value, and his comment is mistakes. So.
I agree. Mine would be the same. And in fact, I walk into a store going, "Ooh, shiny."
I think it was 2 years ago, I decided to do a challenge of getting rid of my pile of potential, and I wrote down the list and put it, not only wrote the list, but advertised it in my streams to say, this is what I need to. So I've challenged myself and making sure people know I need to do stuff as well. That's a bigger mistake.
Why? Because everyone keeps asking you why you haven't painted models you don't feel like painting.
Pretty much. But that's fine.
But yeah, I'm technically supposed to be doing the War on Grey Plastic this year, and because I haven't got anything done in the last 6 months, it's really far behind. Although I'm really churning into it hard now.
It's good. Yes, you are. We've seen it. Even BattleTech.
Yes, again, despite being distracted by BattleTech.
Remind me off air to talk about BattleTech with you. Not now. Off air. Come on, calm down. All right. So, what are the final thoughts as we wrap this up? My final thought is, if you've got the codex, you should be using the Warhammer app. If it's an index that you're using, you should be using the Warhammer app. That's my 2 cents. Apparently the free version still gets you access to all that stuff, which is great. I'm using the subscription version because I get all the Warhammer Plus TV. That's an episode on its own.
We've already done that.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, we
done
have
Twice.
done episodes about it.
That is my thought. I thought Battlescribe was a great tool for a very, very, very long time, but because I now have all the information so quickly through the app on Warhammer, I haven't totally uninstalled Battlescribe. It still sits there, but it's close to being done. Everyone else, wrap up your thoughts. Adam, thoughts about this episode, not just
As I said, I've uninstalled Battlescribe. I'm gone to the Games Workshop app builder. To me, it's fantastic. It does what it wants to do. It's much better than what it was. So I only build lists off that now. So, unfortunately, Battlescribe, you had me for about 2-3 editions. And then the new app came in and it was working. So to me, the Games Workshop app is my go-to.
Michael.
I might check it out. I have a feeling I'll probably end up kind of keeping doing what I'm doing. I've always been very much I want a physical reference kind of guy. So, I used to print out screenshots of the pages from the PDFs to bring along instead of before there were data cards, I used to make them. So I always prefer to have a physical where I'm the guy who shows up to D&D with all the physical books. So if I need to check something, I can.
And it's nice to have something to scribble on.
Pieces of paper, not the books.
Yes, the pieces of paper. But yeah, so it sounds really useful, but I think that I'll probably still keep using data cards, stuff like that, as the physical reference when I'm playing. But it does sound like they're a lot better than they used to be for actually designing lists, so I may check it out. But I'm very hard to change my habits once I get going.
Mark, have we convinced you as well?
I don't know at this point. I'm actually a little surprised at how positive the GW app feedback has been. I expected actually a bit more diversity in this topic because I thought for sure everyone would have a flavour of thing that they do rather than half of us all just being on the GW app wagon.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess I'll check it out. I am very much a cheapskate when it comes to my Warhammer lately, so there may not be much of a change until I can scrape 2 bob together to actually go buy my new codex. But it's definitely worth checking out. But yeah, I mean, New Recruit seems to do the job as a stand-in for Battlescribe with less drama, I want to say.
Yeah. Just
Yeah, and I mean, it's hard to argue with the value proposition of free.
Yeah. Yeah.
And web, and it's on the web, so
is real handy.
It works on anything.
Well, I think the key part is if you don't have the codex, you're not going to get much out of the app, as in the physical codex.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that we're in episode 36, right? Episode 76. Episode 37, we did talk about the app, and it was not a positive review.
Yeah, the app was fucking terrible back then.
So,
I remember you guys specifically tore absolute shit out of the garbage list builder they had.
We did. So
yeah.
Gives you an idea of where they've gone.
And now 50% of us have converted to use the app. So that's a pretty good turnaround.
Yeah, we're pretty stubborn too. So yeah.
So probably episode 110 will have 75 people. 75%.
I mean, they were competing with free.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that's 50%.
That's a big thing we said in that episode where, they are competing with free. This needs to be better quality. Yeah. If it was better, we would use it. And then they made it better.
Yeah.
The thing about the 40k app builder is if you look at the Age of Sigmar app builder and the 40k one, they've just removed Sigmar and inserted 40k on top.
Yeah. But I think that's what we wanted.
Yeah. That's what we were asking.
That was that was what I complained about at the time. I was like, the Sigma one's great. Why is the 40k one shit? It's like, why don't they just use that?
And that's all they did.
Clearly, our biggest subscriber is Games Workshop.
Yeah, that must be where that must be Boardman, Oregon.
That's him. That's him.
We'll see you, GW. Can't fool us, fuckers.
It's just their VPN endpoint.
Yeah.
That's it. They move it around every now and again. All right. So
It's actually an anagram for boardroom.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about? List builders.
No, that's pretty much covered off. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Unintentional ad for GW.
Yeah, maybe they'll like us. And if you listeners do like us, make sure you do hit that subscribe if you're watching us YouTube. Hit that like on Facebook. I don't know. There's so many buttons now. What are you meant to press? All of them.
Like, subscribe.
Just press all of them.
Listeners, don't forget to press that positive interaction button on your platform of choice.
Or negative. we don't care.
I do. I do. I care. I care deeply. And you can always support. You can subscribe on the Wobbly Player Syndrome.buzzsprout.com site if you wanted to do so, or you can just subscribe on the Twitch channel if you wanted to do that to support us. There's also merch. None of us are wearing it at the moment, but there is merch. My team got their first win this season after 13 rounds. I'm wearing our jumper, damn it.
He hasn't washed it since.
I haven't washed since.
Well, I'm wearing a, chronologically appropriate shirt. It's Pride Month.
Oh, it is too. Yes. These aren't the glasses I usually use for the screen, so everything's still blurry. Shut up. All right, what's coming up? This Friday, if you're listening to us, it will be the date of... Oh, my God, math. Hey, Adam, you're good with math. The 14th. 14th of June, we will be streaming a game of 40k. I have until then to paint at least 280 points worth of 1,000 Suns so I can put them on the table. Otherwise, it'll be something different. I'm actually playing against Chris, who's going to look up 1,000 Suns on Battlescribe to see what he's going to fight against. But after he builds his list, he tells me. That's why I will bring Deathguard and surprise him.
No, that means lists have to be in by Thursday.
They do. Lists need to be in by Thursday. You are correct. Well done. Fine. You can also catch... I have finished study for the moment. You can catch me Tuesday, Thursdays for Hobby Night. Where I'll be painting 1,000 Suns. I know. Surprise. What else have we got going on, folks? Any of you guys do anything? Good?
No.
Not really. I'm also painting Bone.
Nice. You can also catch up on our PC gaming arm of the RLG group on every Sunday. It usually involves Adam and myself, as well as two others. Last week we played Vermintide 2. This week is Demonologist.
Oh.
God.
Actually, my friends kind of like last night, this afternoon, kind of like went, Vermintide 2, it was pretty good. Oh, you guys were pretty gutsy going up to the top level or champion level. And I went, yeah, that didn't work well.
It didn't go very well. It was brutal. We dropped
But
it
I
down
must
pretty
sit
quick.
there. But Sunday, Demonologist, I've got my hand ready to open the car door and run away. No, I'm going to try and surprise you. I'm going to be the first one in, and I'm going to stay in the house.
There you go. I mean, otherwise, if you ever need a person to hold the front door open and not actually move from there, Adam's your guy.
Hey, I closed the door.
That's like the one where you're paranormal investigators, isn't it?
Correct.
You're trying to figure out what the shit's going on. Yeah, I've seen that play.
Yeah. Oh, there's
Yeah.
some good clips of me jumping literally out of my chair.
I hate that game.
Oh, it's a terrible game. Anyway, 40k is what we're talking about. So as I said, Friday you will get to watch a game of 40k. It will be myself versus Chris. He's either bringing Eldari or Deathwatch. If you want to let us know what you think he should bring, jump on our Facebook page. In fact, jump on our Discord. That's probably an easier way to find it. Where's our Discord page? Glad you asked. Hang on.
Here's one
There
he's
it is.
prepared earlier.
Oh, we're in an ad break.
Just don't put an open poll, or people will demand that Chris plays Grotz.
No, we put the 2 items, and if you, so that's the votes there. If I don't get 1,000 suns up, you can let me know what you would like to see me play as well. So again, I'll put it up on Discord so you can vote there.
I have joked many times that we should swap armies.
I'm all for that. I would love to try running a different army. I actually want to play Tau. Does that make dirty? I feel dirty for saying so.
Flip Club.
I don't know.
I've
dirty.
often been tempted to assemble and paint the Tau I have.
Yeah.
You're a Tau.
They're in a box down here next to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Tau in this room right now.
Yeah, you can't see them because they're in stealth suits. All right, let's get out of here. Let's get that social media stuff out of the way, because Mark's going to tell us what our YouTube channel is.
RLG 40k.
Are you sure?
You're pretty sure, unless you renamed it again.
In all the places except the place that dares not speak its name.
Yeah, Michael is a big
All
fan
the
of
places that
Instagram.
count.
What's our RLG Instagram?
Pretty sure it's RLG40K.
It is. It's well done. All right, Adam, let's spice it up. What's your Instagram?
Pronto40k is my Instagram.
I don't know how much that spiced up still had the 40k in it. Anyway. You can also follow my Instagram. It is redbellyblack. There's no 40k at the end. It's just redbellyblack. Or you can follow me on Twitch, of course. Redbelly is what I am on Twitch. Join us on our Facebook page as RLG40k as well. I know, we're really spicing that up, but that's where we're at. So we're going to go away now. I'm going to prepare an army, look up all the Death Watch and Eldari stuff on Battlescribe. No, I can do it. Oh, yeah, anyway. And Mark's going to say goodnight.
Good night.
Adam's going to say goodnight.
Good night, everyone.
I'm going to say goodnight. Good night. And Radio Mike is going to get us out of here.
Oh, everyone has a favorite tool. Which one is yours? There's big ones, small ones, complex ones, and simple ones. There's a tool for every job. But regardless of your tool, you can join us next month for more Wobbly Player Syndrome.